An anti-terror probe ordered into the murder of a chemist in Amravati after it's linked to the BJP spokesperson Nupur Sharma's comments on Prophet Muhammad. The chemist had reportedly made a social media post in support of the former BJP spokesperson. Two-day BJP National Executive meeting kicks off in Hyderabad. On the agenda, strategize on the upcoming assembly elections with a specific focus on the south. The BJP TRS face-off meanwhile faces off. KCR receives the opposition's presidential candidate Yashwant Sinha but skips welcoming Prime Minister Modi for BJP's national executive. Sena rebels return to Mumbai to face Team Thackeray in a key election for the Assembly Speaker's post on Sunday. The election is crucial as the Speaker will decide on the no-trust vote against the Shinde camp on Monday. A Delhi court rejects the fact-checker journalist Mohammad Zubair's bail plea in a case for a 4-year-old tweet. Sends him to 14 days judicial custody. After his completing 5 days in police custody, the Delhi police adds more IPC sections in the FIR against him. 34 people dead, 28 still missing as rescuers race against time to look for survivors of the massive landslide in Manipur. Many remain trapped in the rubble. 20 of the dead are Territorial Army Jawans, 9 civilians dead, including labourers. The pilot of a SpiceJet Q400 airliner flying from Delhi to Jabalpur makes a Mayday distress call, returns to Delhi after smoke is detected in the cabin. All passengers unhurt. Hello and welcome. The Deputy Commissioner of Police in Amravati in Maharashtra on a Saturday confirmed that the murder that took place last month, the murder of an Umesh Kolhe, was linked to the comments made by the now former BJP spokesperson against Prophet Muhammad. The motive behind the murder was seeking revenge, as the victim had circulated a WhatsApp post supporting those disrespectful comments made by the BJP's Nupur Sharma. The police today confirmed that on Saturday. The Home Minister has directed the NIA to oversee the probe into this case now. 7 arrests have been made in this case, including the mastermind.
The alleged killers seen leaving after stabbing 54-year-old chemist Umesh Kolhe on the night of the 21st of June in Amravati. This is his shop where he sold medicine for animals. He was killed soon after he locked up and left for home, waylaid by 2 men on a motorcycle.
21 जून की रात को भैया हमेशा की तरह अपनी दुकान बंद करके घर पे जा रहे थे। घर पे जाते टाइम जिस रास्ते से वो जाते थे, वो दुकान के बाजू से एक गली है छोटी, उसमें से निकलते थे। उस दिन रात को कोई लोग उनका वेट कर रहे थे वहाँ पे, जो आए और उन्हें चाकू घोंप के वो चले गए। मुझे फ़ोन आया कि उन्हें किसी ने चाकू मार दिया है, तो मैंने जाके देखा तो उनके लेफ्ट साइड में यहाँ पे किसी ने चाकू मार दिया था और वो उनकी डेथ हो चुकी थी।
A local BJP leader has alleged that the chemist was killed because he supported BJP spokesperson Nupur Sharma's comments on the Prophet.
उमेश कोल्हे का जो मर्डर हुआ है उसके कारण केवल नुपुर शर्मा का ही प्रकरण है। इस प्रकार की चर्चा है सभी क्षेत्र में है।
Union Home Minister Amit Shah has instructed the NIA to take over the probe. The police has so far arrested 6 accused who are in custody.
हमने 6 आरोपियों को अटक किया है। उसके तपास से हमें यही पता चला है कि श्रीमती नुपुर शर्मा के बारे में जो उमेश कोल्हे जी ने सोशल मीडिया पे पोस्ट किया था, उसी वजह से ये गुनाह गढ़ा है।
The killing brings fresh tensions to Maharashtra with its 2-day-old government.
लॉ एंड ऑर्डर में महाराष्ट्र हमेशा अग्रसर रहा है। हिंदुत्व एक कल्चर है, ना कि हिंदुत्व मतलब सिर्फ हिंदू है। ये हिंदुस्तान का कल्चर है, सबको साथ में लेके जाना है।
After Udaipur, news of another killing, this time in Amravati, allegedly also over the Prophet insult row. With bureau inputs, this is Arman Verma for NDTV.
And a large mob gathered outside the Jaipur court on Saturday and attacked the 2 killers in that gruesome murder of the tailor Kanhaiya Lal. This mob attacked them outside the court, but the police managed, however, to quickly put them into a waiting car and averting possibly a major injury. Kanhaiya Lal was murdered on Tuesday by 2 men who filmed the killing. 4 accused were presented at a National Investigating Agency court in Jaipur. The court granted the NIA 10 days custody of the killers.
The killers of Udaipur tailor Kanhaiya Lal attacked by an angry mob in NIA court in Jaipur. Crowds of angry lawyers also shouted slogans, and the National Investigation Agency, or the NIA, that has taken over the case has now been given custody of the accused till the 13th of July. As threads of this story unravel, it appears that Riaz Attari and Mohammad Ghaus, who carried out the ghastly attack, were not alone. They were accompanied by Asif and Mohsin, who were apparently on standby if Riaz and Ghaus failed. Police sources believe that they helped Riaz and Ghaus escape on the bike with the sinister number plate 2611. Mohammad Ghaus, meanwhile, had parked his scooty at this marketplace from the day of the crime. In an embarrassment for the BJP, pictures surfaced of one of the main accused, Riaz Attari, with senior BJP leaders in Udaipur. The BJP, though, denied that the accused had anything to do with the party.
आज जो एक षड्यंत्रपूर्वक हमारा वीडियो वायरल हुआ है, वह षड्यंत्र के तहत वायरल हुआ वीडियो। मैं 25 वर्षों से भारतीय जनता पार्टी का कर्मठ कार्यकर्ता हूं और पार्टी में पूरी निष्ठा से काम करता हूं। जिस रियाज अत्तारी का नाम पार्टी के सदस्य के रूप में आता है, वह हमारा प्राथमिक सदस्य भी नहीं रहा है कभी। वह हमारी पार्टी में क्या मालूम किस वजह से आता था, किस वजह से वहां पे आता था, लोगों से मिलता जुलता था, इसका हमें कोई ज्ञान नहीं।
But this did not stop the war of Twitter between the political parties.
उदयपुर में तो ये पता चला है कि वो लोग भारतीय जनता पार्टी के बाकायदा मेंबर रहे हैं। इस पे भारतीय जनता पार्टी को जवाब देना चाहिए। लेकिन सुप्रीम कोर्ट की डायरेक्शन के बावजूद नुपुर न माफी मांगी है, न उनको गिरफ्तार किया गया है, न कानून अपना काम कर रहा है। इससे पता चलता है कि भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सरकार इस देश को किस दिशा में ले जाना चाहती है। वो सिर्फ नफरत की बुनियाद पर राजनीति करना चाहती है।
BJP in turn said it's the Gehlot government that was trying to trap them.
हमारी जो पार्टी है भारतीय जनता पार्टी, वो कहीं भी इस तरह की किसी भी घटना का कभी समर्थन नहीं करती है। ना पहले समर्थन किया था, ना आज समर्थन करते हैं और आगे भी हम सख्त अल्फाज में इस तरह की घटनाओं की मजम्मत करते रहेंगे और कानून से ये सिफारिश करेंगे, न्यायपालिका से गुजारिश करते हैं कि ये जो मैटर हुआ है इसको लेकर आप बिल्कुल जल्द से जल्द फैसला लेकर आए।
As the investigation gets underway, it's clear from the links of the four accused that a larger terror plot will emerge. In Udaipur with Harsha Kumari Singh, Priyanshi Sharma, NDTV.
And a Delhi court rejected the fact-checker journalist Mohammad Zubair's bail plea in a case for a tweet from 4 years ago and sent him to 14 days judicial custody after he had already completed 5 days in police custody. Today in court, the Delhi police also added more IPC sections in an FIR against him. Mr. Zubair, the co-founder of the fact-checking site Alt News, was arrested over a 4-year-old tweet on the 27th of June for allegedly hurting religious sentiments barely a month after he had flagged a video of the since-suspended BJP leader Nupur Sharma speaking against Prophet Muhammad on a TV show. He's been in the police's custody for the last 5 days. Founded in 2017 as a non-profit, Alt News is among the world's most prominent fact-checking outlets. And the two-day BJP's national executive meeting kicked off in Hyderabad on Saturday. On the agenda, strategizing on the upcoming assembly elections with a specific focus on the south, and it has sparked off a face-off between the BJP and the TRS.
The stage was set for a face-off even before Prime Minister Narendra Modi landed in Hyderabad for the BJP's national executive meeting, attended by over 300 senior leaders from all over the country. Telangana Chief Minister K. Chandrasekhar Rao chose the same day to invite and felicitate opposition presidential candidate Yashwant Sinha with a bike rally and massive show of strength, demanding that the Prime Minister answer his questions during the BJP's public meeting at Hyderabad's parade grounds on Sunday.
हम इतना ही कहना चाहेंगे माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी जिस प्रकार से आप विपक्षी दलों के नेताओं पे गला फाड़ फाड़ के गलत आरोप लगाते हैं, उसी प्रकार से जो संबोधित करने वाले हैदराबाद सभा को, उसमें हमारे प्रश्नों का उत्तर दीजिए।
Yashwant Sinha asked why the Prime Minister was silent on the Nupur Sharma controversy.
भारतीय जनता पार्टी की उस प्रवक्ता को जिसने जहर फैला दिया इस देश में, उसके खिलाफ कोई कानूनी कार्रवाई अभी तक नहीं हुई है। क्या प्रधानमंत्री जी हैदराबाद में जब भाषण देंगे तो इस पर प्रकाश डालेंगे?
The BJP that is preparing to challenge the TRS in Telangana 2023 continued attack on KCR's alleged dynastic politics.
केसीआर जी ने व्यक्ति का अपमान नहीं किया, संस्था का अपमान किया है।
लोकतंत्र का हत्या कर रहे हैं, राज्यों के सरकार को गिराने में आप व्यस्त है। अब तक नौ सरकारें आपने गिराई है।
The BJP National Executive is expected to have post-mortem of the party's performance in assembly elections that just went by. There will also be a stock-taking, a SWOT analysis and also strategies for the assembly elections that are coming up and the general elections. There is also expected to be a special resolution that could target Telangana 2023. In Hyderabad with camera person Nagraju, Uma Sudhir, NDTV.
And more than 11,000 pilgrims have performed the Amarnath Yatra so far this year. Another batch of over 6,000 worshippers on Saturday moved from the Bhagwati Nagar base camp in Jammu towards the valley. My colleague Naseem Masoodi has this report.
मेरा दत्ताधारी नाथ मेरी पार्वती के साथ शंकर आज मेरी भावना पूरी करो शंभू आज मेरी भावना पूरी करो.
At the Batakot village in Pahalgam, 95-year-old Ghulam Nabi Malik recites prayers he used to say at the Amarnath Holy Cave. As the annual Amarnath Yatra starts after a gap of more than 2 years, it revives his old memories of conducting the Yatra and his family's bond with the Holy Cave his great-grandfather Bota Malik had discovered.
95-year-old Ghulam Nabi Malik is a living legend who has conducted Sri Amarnath Yatra for around 60 years. He shows us this souvenir that has been gifted to him by the wife of Maharaja Hari Singh in 1947 at the Holy Cave.
Malik recounts his family's association with the cave and how it strengthened the bond between Hindus and Muslims, dating back to 1850 when Bota Malik found the holy cave and the naturally formed ice stalagmite inside it. Till 2005, the Malik family was conducting the Yatra before the Amarnath Shrine Board put an end to the age-old practice.
पहली दफा आप कब गए हैं यात्रा के लिए?
शायद 70 साल हुआ. मैं रानी के साथ गया वहाँ बराबर गुफा था. उसने उधर से पाठ पूजा किया और मुझे एक मजमा दी.
For the Malik family, Bota Malik still remains a revered figure. The Maliks say that for many yatris, the yatra was incomplete unless they visited the family.
उसके पाँव के नीचे चश्मा निकला.
उसके कब्र के नीचे.
कब्र के नीचे. हम वही पानी पीते हैं, हम दरिया का पानी नहीं पीते.
एक वक्त ऐसे हो गया शीशनाग से ही वापस आ गया. जब सुना है कि इधर मलिक है, उन्होंने ढूंढा. हम पहलगाम में थे हटो में, जो होटल में थे वो भी आया हमारे पास. मलिक है इधर, हम उसके साथ मुलाकात हुई.
This year, unprecedented and stringent security measures have been put in place by the government, causing hardships to both locals and tourists. Besides a massive security structure already operating in the valley, 350 additional companies of paramilitary have been brought in to guard the Yatra. But for the Maliks, and also many such Kashmiris, security must not overshadow the Yatra, as it represents a long journey of syncretic culture in Kashmir. With Naseem Masoodi in Pahalgam, Vedant Agarwal for NDTV.
And the death count due to a massive landslide at a territorial army camp in Manipur's Noni district has now increased to 34. This includes 18 Jawans, 13 personnel of the territorial army, 5 civilians have been rescued, but 28 are still missing.
A fresh landslide at Nupur in Manipur's Noni district. Very close to the spot where on Wednesday night, almost entire hills slipped down. Submerging the under-construction railway station, camps of construction workers, engineers and a company of territorial army Jawans guarding the site. The biggest landslide in the northeast in a decade or so. Wednesday's landslide has so far killed at least 25. The army and the NDRF are still searching for survivors and bodies. The weather, the extremely soft soil, and now another landslide in the vicinity has made the task a challenge.
The only problem is that the whole hill log slide down. So the main area where the houses are there, where people were sleeping when the landslide occurred, cannot be easily accessible. And problem is also the bodies are scattered. We found some bodies in the river.
The Assam government has sent a cabinet minister as most of the missing labourers are from Assam.
The construction company who brought people from Assam, they said so far 7 people from Assam died, 5 were admitted in hospital, it means they are rescued, and 13 are still missing.
মোৰ ভাইদেউ হৈছিল তাত কাম কৰিবৰ কাৰণে বৰ্তমানলৈকে তেওঁ এতিয়া সন্ধানহীন অৱস্থাত আছে তেওঁ বিচাৰি পোৱা নাই গতিকে মুখ্যমন্ত্ৰী ডাঙৰীয়ালৈ এটাই অনুৰোধ যাতে কাম কৰিব যোৱা মানুহখিনিক যাতে সোনকালে উদ্ধাৰ অভিযানটো চলাই প্ৰাৰ্থনা কৰিছো যাতে সেই মানুহকেইজনক আমি ঘৰত যাতে সিহঁতৰ ডেড বডি কেইটা পাওঁ
Over 25 labourers from Assam's Morigaon were working at the ill-fated construction site, which is part of the 111-kilometre Jiribam-Imphal rail mega project, built by cutting the hills. The territorial army looks after the security of the project. Mortal remains of 14 army Jawans, including 1 JCO and 12 other ranks, were sent to respective home stations by 2 IAF aircrafts and an Indian Army helicopter. Most of them are Gorkhas from the Darjeeling Hills. This is one of the highest peacetime fatalities of Gorkha warriors of the Indian Army. After a continuous search of 48 hours, the body of Army Jawan Sheikh Muhinuddin from West Bengal's Basirat was finally found. His family has lost its lone earning member.
কি বলবো এখন আমি আর আমার বাচ্চাটা অনাথ হয়ে গেলাম আর কি বলবো আমাদের দেখার আর কেউ থাকলো না সবাই তো ঠিক হয়ে যাবে সবাই সবার মতো হয়ে যাবে আমার বাচ্চাটা কি হবে আমার বাচ্চাটা কি হবে আশার কথা ছিল
Many families are still hoping against hope, but even rescuers are at risk as the bad weather continues, making the area vulnerable to even more landslides.
And after the break, the government has banned single-use plastic across India, but is India ready for this ban? Stay tuned.
For a small vendor, a plastic spoon earlier costed around 10 paise. Now a paper spoon costs 1.5 rupee, and that means that their cost of a straw have gone up by 15 times. The government has imposed a blanket ban on 19 plastic products that include these straws, spoons, forks, glasses and many other plastic products. But is India ready? Are the vendors ready to shift to this change, and how is it going to impact their costs? To understand this, we have with us Mr. Randhawa, who is the president of the Sarojini Nagar Traders Association. Sir, thanks so much for speaking with us. And have the traders shifted to this change? Have they shifted to biodegradable products and paper straws and paper cups after this ban?
मैम आई स्पीकिंग हिंदी प्लीज। एक्चुअली क्या हैगा कि गवर्नमेंट ने ठीक है पहले 1-2 महीने हमें टाइम दिया था कि ये प्लास्टिक बैन होने जा रहा है, ओके, पर उसका अल्टरनेटिव नहीं निकाला। उन्होंने ऑर्डर तो कर दिया कि ये चीज़ें बैन है। अब मैं अपनी दुकान पे सामान ये प्लास्टिक के बैग में देता था, ये मुझे पहले 1 रुपये कॉस्ट करती थी। अभी मैंने जो गवर्नमेंट ने अलाउ करा है कपड़े का बैन या गत्ते का बैन, वो मैं ले रहा हूँ तो मुझे 7 से 8 रुपये का पड़ रहा है। ये चम्मच थे खाने पीने के लिए, ये 25 पैसे कॉस्ट करता था, अभी लकड़ी का शुरू करा 1 रुपये का 1 कर रहा है। दूसरा जिस प्लेट है ये गिलासेस, सेम सबकी कहानी एक ही है, ये 30 पैसे कॉस्ट करता था, आज की डेट में ये 1 रुपये कॉस्ट कर रहा है। दूसरा ये प्लेट्स जो थी पहले की, ये थर्माकोल की या दूसरी जो थी उसमें हम दे देते, ये 1 रुपये कॉस्ट करती थी। अब ये हमने शुरू जो करी है ये 10 रुपये की प्लेट आ रही है।
तो जैसा कि आप कह रहे हैं कि ये कॉस्ट अब आम जनता पर ही आएंगे, तो ये कितने समय में हम देख सकते हैं कि इन सब चीज़ों के दाम, ये जो हम राजमा चावल या बाहर से लेमन सोडा पीते हैं, इन सब के दाम कितनी जल्दी हम देख सकते हैं कि वो बढ़ेंगे इस बैन के बाद?
मुझे तो लगता है 10-15 दिन के अंदर ही बढ़ना चाहिए, क्योंकि कहाँ से देंगे हम लोग।
Their input costs have gone up 7 times, 8 times, 10 times and even 15 times for some products such as these straws. And they say that this cost is going to be passed on to the consumers in approximately 10 to 15 days. Something that costed around 30 rupees will now cost 40 rupees a plate of rajma chawal. That's going to be the impact of this plastic ban for you and me. But of course it has to become a habit. These retailers say that people have to get their own bags and that won't make them use these plastic bags, and that will eventually phase out plastic from our life.